another edition of ManClub. Today we're going to install the RV6 J-Pipe that came from RV6 Performance, Richie Wong. And it's been sitting on my floor in the house for a while because I've been out of town, but I'm back and I'm motivated. I really want to put it in and see what it does for me. So without any more delay, let's get going. Okay, let's review the tools we're going to be required to use for today. I just have a couple of rags here. Safety glasses are a must when you're shooting this PB blaster underneath. Got some 409 for just general cleanup. We use some WD-40 on the hanger, the rubber hanger, to help slide that, lubricate that hanger off the rubber, and it was a lot easier once I shot it with that. Got some anti-seize, which is copper based. We've got a 14 millimeter, one thin walled and one thicker walled, and a couple of short extensions, a 17 millimeter socket, a breaker bar, 2 ratchets, and a 17 millimeter open end box end wrench. Not too many tools required today. Alright, so what I've done is I just took it from the garage and I put it in neutral and I just pushed it out so I didn't have to start it so that exhaust pipe wouldn't get hot. Put some chalk blocks behind the back wheels, and I'm going to jack it up and put it on some jack stands on either side. Alright, now that we've got it all up on the jacks and secured, we're going to I swept underneath because I don't like acorns sticking to my back while I'm working. I'm going to lay down a towel because it's always nice to have something soft on you when you're laying on your back. If you don't believe me, ask your girlfriend. So, grab myself some JB blaster and a pair of safety glasses. We'll go under there, we'll shoot all the nuts and bolts where everything is going to come off, and let it penetrate for a while. Alright, now that we've got it sprayed down, we're going to let it sit, penetrate for 10 to 15 minutes. You know, a good time to grab some breakfast or a cup of coffee or whatever you like to do. I'm going to open this up real quick and see what's inside. Well, here's a look at what we came out of the box. We got a nice looking J-Pipe, some documentation, cards, sticker, gaskets, nuts, and bolts. Looks like a complete package. Okay, next we're going to just take the bolts off with a breaker bar and a 14-inch socket. I'd get a little extension too, and like I said earlier, 6-point socket so we don't strip anything. Here's the center jacking points are right behind that. You can see this is our first connection here. Here's our oil drain, so we follow the exhaust pipe back from there up, and you can see there's the bolts there. We'll need an extension on this one for sure, especially this one over here. And keep following it back behind the third cat. There's 1, 2, and 3 over here. And there we go, we got it out. There's a good comparison of the old versus the new. You can see probably an increase in flow. I can't wait to see how it feels on the road. Okay, now we're just going to crawl underneath with a rag, and we're going to wipe off the mating surfaces because I'm sure they're probably got a little bit of rust and whatnot on them. So we want to get all those surfaces nice and clean before we bolt everything back up. Okay, now I put on some rubber gloves. Because basically anywhere we're going to touch this, if we don't wipe that oil from our hands down or from the PB blast or whatever, and it gets hot, it's just going to burn in on this stainless. So I'm going to try to minimize the oil with the gloves. Of course, I'll probably get some on there. So once we get it in, we're going to wipe it all down and try to get as clean as possible. It's going to mar up this pretty stainless finish. Okay, now we're going to crawl underneath, and basically we're going to stick it up on the hanger and then kind of get it in position a little bit. Very important, you grab some anti-seize. We're going to lube up the thread of the bolt and the nut, and then we'll wipe off the excess when we're done. But you know, if and when you're going to come off the off-roading and go back onto street legal, you're going to need this to help you get those bolts off. Alright, so the first thing we did was we hung it right here off this hanger, kind of give us a starting point. Then I went just down to the front and kind of, you have to move them a little bit, just get them lined up. Put your gasket in there, and then get your anti-seize out and goop it on all the nuts or the bolts that are sticking out there and the nut, and then finger tight them on, and then do the same for the second one over here, and then come on back to the back here, and basically just I had enough room to slide the gasket through there, and then I wound up going putting the bolt like this. I guess you could go either way, but changed up a little on us. This is a 17 mil here, so, and with the lock nut, and so I don't think the Honda torque specs are really going to apply to this. So I'm just going to go back to the German torque specs, which is Guten Tight. So when you're tightening these down, you kind of want to do it like you're tightening a lug nut on a tire. You know, get them hand started, and then just go to you barely feel it start to grab, and then do the others the same way, and just keep going around a little bit at a time so you get a nice good even seal around your gasket. Again, since we have gaskets here and we didn't before, I really don't think the Honda torque spec's gonna come into play. So again, I just use the German torque spec. Alright, so now we got it all tightened up, ready to go. Final step is I'm going to take a little 409 or degreaser and a clean rag, and I'm going to wipe down all the surfaces that have oil or grease or any kind of contaminant on it, because once we start it and it gets hot, that stuff's all going to bake in, and you'll never get rid of it after that. So just wipe it down real good. Plus this will take off any of the oil that might have been on there from shipping or manufacturing, and then we'll just drop it down off the jacks and give it a go. Okay, so this concludes another edition of ManClub. Today we got the RV6 J-Pipe installed, and Richie Wong, he didn't disappoint. It was pretty easy. You know, 9 bolts come off, drops it off, put it back on with the provided stuff, and you know, just make sure you use the anti-seize and clean everything up. And you know, it really wasn't that bad of a deal. It only took me about an hour, and maybe a little bit more, but I'm stopping to film a lot and stuff like that. So. Real easy install, and I just got back from a test drive, and you know, it's a beautiful sunny day, and it's nice. I think the combination of the short ram intake with the throttle body spacer and now the exhaust, it's feeling really good. I think the car's pretty much living up to its potential now. So until next time, keep them hanging.